As true as I'm riding this bicycle. In the Western Star, Chief Inspector Japp replies to Poirot, as true as I'm riding this bicycle. I was so nonplussed by the expression that I didn't even get the context of it. I do believe he was making a point of it not being true, because when Poirot looked at him incredulously, Japp showed with his hands there not being a bicycles. What is the origin of that expression, and what does it actually mean? Examples of usage by others. Lynn Connolly, 2008, Close Encounters of the Shirley Kind, p. 59. Derek Barry, 2014, Innocent on the Run, p. 74. Bonkwald, Hown Hawaii, the 21st of September 2001. John Breed's Magic, Funny Talk. For Kids Magicians, Undated.
TL, Doctor, it's a common twist on a different common idiom. In this form, it means what you just said is clearly false. As sure/true as I'm, fill in the blank of what I'm doing or am, is a common idiom used to mean that something is definitely true. The blank can be filled in lots of different ways. As sure as I'm alive is the earliest form I can find. For example, in this ostensibly 17th century work, Snippet View, this epilogue from 1756, and this English-Swedish dictionary from 1757. The most common formulation today might be the, usually American English, as, sure as I'm standing here, MW, but it is often shifted for comical effect. For example, a lot of times, I'll start a sentence with the phrase, as sure as I'm fat and bald, Judd Heathcote and Amp, Jack Ebeling, Judd, A Magical Journey, 1995. So long as whatever fills in the blank is obviously true, the original meaning of the idiom remains. However, if the end of the phrase is patently untrue, then the meaning of the idiom is flipped to mean the rest of what I'm talking about is also false. Some of these flipped versions have passed into semi-idiomatic use, such as sure as I'm a foot high, apparently Irish slang, and Inspector Japp's statement, used when one is obviously not riding a bicycle. While a bicycle or bike is the most common thing, not being ridden, there are other variants of the form true/sure as I'm riding this thing I am obviously not riding, such as I know, I believe you. As sure as I'm riding this unicycle. Smile, discussion comment, Outlander, not to be missed Imho, Callus Beach Forum, 2015. I'll tell you of the queens of the highway and believe me I'll tell you no flannel. It was told me firsthand by the lads on the trucks. It's as true as I'm riding this camel. Bernard Wrigley and Amp, Henry Boot, Queens of the Highway lyrics, camel might be the second most common thing not being ridden. Ancient civilization discovered this. No, it's true, come on, would I lie to you? As sure as I'm riding this unicorn, octopus therapy works. Next time one of your friends feels a little down, a bit saggy at the edges, try slapping them in the face with a 30-pound Enteroctopus deflana, and I bet you things will start to improve from that point onwards. British and Bonkers, Octopus Love, via Tumblr. Most of the above appear to be UK sources, but sure as I'm riding this bike has also apparently made it at least to New Zealand. It appears to be an actual saying. From Irish Sayings with Interpretation. As true as I'm riding this bike, this is said when you're not riding a bike, but emphasizes your sincerity. Or more likely, the complete lack of sincerity. It would appear to be delivered in an ironic manner, and in this following case it seems to be sincere. What's that I hear you say? By 1947 no one was shooting anyone, least of all Geordie holidaymakers on the A66? And your official history of Tottenham Hotspur gives no mention of a William Butcher, or for that matter of his hat. Strange that, neither does mine. Well, it's all true as I'm riding this bike. And if you'll believe it, well, you'll probably believe about the songbook as well. But then later, the author implies that all is tongue-in-cheek. We'll remind them of great Uncle Paddy Flanagan O'Butcher, the famous minstrel of County Cork, and inventor of the boiled potato. In the transcript from the dramatization of the Western Star, it is quite obvious that Japp does not believe the person he is interrogating when he uses the phrase.
As true as I'm riding this bicycle, often found as true as I'm riding this bike, is a jocular phrase used to indicate that the speaker does not believe a putative fact which has been stated by another, or that their own previous statement is not reliable. Examples of use. Bang Bang Beirut by Ray Cooney, Tony Hilton Fred, she's my agent and personal manager. Farina, get lost. Fred, it's true. Farina, yes, about as true as I'm riding this bicycle. And what about that little boy up there, who's he? Fred, that's not a little boy, that's Jimmy Clitero. Farina, I didn't come up yesterday, you know. Innocent on the Run by Derek Barry. Charlie told Ricky he'd met some beautiful American girls, who were mad for him, but he had to tell them all that he had to get back to his ship, as he was the captain, and no one would know what to do if he wasn't there supervising. Doc overheard him, and he stuck his head through the serving hatch. Get lost, you grease monkey, he shouted. The only girls you met were in your dreams. Charlie laughed. It's true, Doc, honest. As true as I'm riding this bike. Get back down below, you've been having those funny hallucinations again.
The idiomatic standard in this case is, as true as I'm standing here, that's 74 written instances in Google Books. The chance that you will be standing wherever you need to swear to the truth of some assertion is obviously much higher than the chance of you making such an assertion whilst riding a bike. Unsurprisingly, oft-cited variant gets no hits at all, it's just a one-off local variation on a theme. The above, an oft-cited variant, seemed to me to be completely transparent and only slightly quirky. But dwarfing all variants on that particular theme is my grandmother's Sure as Eggs, with almost 5,000 hits in Google Books.
If you are so tanong, wait is this Friday?